This week, we read two Parshas. The first one is called Chukas, and in it, we read about the death of Miriam and Aaron, both of whom are siblings to Moshe. When Miriam dies, it says she dies and she's buried, and then the very next sentence in the Torah tells us that there was no water for the Jewish people to drink. From this, we learn that it is because of Miriam, because of who she was and the divine energy she was able to draw down into the world, that the water came out of the rock and sustained the Jewish people as they were traveling in the desert. When she died, the water dried up, and the people complain they have no water. They go to Moses and Aaron, and they grumble to Moses and Aaron. Moses goes to God, and God says, "Go to the rock, speak to the rock, and water will come forth." Now let's just contextualize this. Miriam has just died, and Moses has been taken care of and been in a beloved and beautiful relationship with his sister for his whole life. She was the one who made her parents get back together after they were frightened to have children, after they were living in Egypt and the Pharaoh had decreed for all the Jewish boys to be killed. She was the one who watched over Moses when he was put into a little ark and put onto the River Nile. She was the one that made sure that their mother was the one to nurse feed little baby Moses when he was taken into the palace by the daughter of Pharaoh. She's been with him and has helped to shepherd the Jewish people along with Aaron the whole lives they've been together. So now when she's gone and now that she's died, people are complaining they have no water, but Moses is grieving. Perhaps his anger at hitting the rock comes from his sadness and his grief. But he doesn't have time to grieve. He doesn't have time to be sad because the Jewish people are grumbling and groaning. And perhaps his anger is sourced in his sadness and his grief. The second of our two Torah portions that we read this week is called Balak. Balak is the king of a nation called Moab. The Jewish people, a big nation, are coming towards his land, and he's scared. He doesn't know what to do, and he's worried about how to defend himself. And so he hires a non-Jewish prophet, a sorcerer by the name of Balaam, and he gives him lots of money, and he tells him to go and to curse the Jewish people. So Balaam gets up early one day, he saddles his donkey, and he goes to try to curse the Jewish people. As he's on his donkey going down the path, there's an angel, a messenger of God is sent and standing in the path. The donkey sees the angel, but Balaam doesn't. The donkey stops, and Balaam gets angry, and he hits the donkey. The donkey turns to one side, turns to another side. The angel is still blocking his path, and Balaam continues to hit his donkey. He hits his donkey 3 times. This anger, we understand, comes from a place of egotism and arrogance. He's angry that he's not getting his way, that the donkey's not doing what he wants. So we have 2 examples of perhaps an angry response that comes from different places. In the case of Moses, it's perhaps from sadness and grief, and from Balaam, it's coming from egotism and arrogance. So when we have feelings of anger, let's be careful how we express those so that they are expressed in healthy and not harmful ways.